What is going on, everybody? It's TG. Hope you guys are having a great day today. If you are a Ford stock owner, you are having a great day. The stock absolutely popped today, up 8.5%. This thing was up over 10% at one point after hours, after an amazing quarter. We're going to go and break down that earnings quarter. We're also going to talk about GM's earnings because they reported earnings before the bell today. Stocks had very different reactions to each. So we're going to go over each one. What I like, what I don't like, and all that good stuff. If you guys want, hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. We have a free Discord if you want to join. Link in the description below. And if you want to support the channel, I got a Patreon link. It would really help me out a lot. But let's just go ahead and jump into this video. Guys, first off, Ford stock. The stock actually took a hit these past couple of days. Was down about 4% in the week. But all that's gone, and it's over. Because after hours today, Ford reported earnings. And these earnings were amazing. Let's go ahead and break it down. Starting off with the earnings per share. They were expecting 27 cents per share. Ford said, you know what? I'm going to actually have to do 51 on this one. Insane. An insane beat. Almost 100% beat. Revenue. Missed, actually. Missed by about $1 billion. By about a little less than $1 billion they missed. But here's the good thing. They reinstated their dividend for the first time in a very long time. And they had really good guidance as well. Investors, one of the biggest things they were looking for, besides earnings per share and revenue, was the guidance. What is going to happen with this big chip problem? What's going to be, the big factor? Obviously, we're making some good profits. Ford's net income was $1.8 billion compared to $2.4 billion a year ago. And that's despite this big chip problem. That's despite COVID. That's despite all this stuff that's going on. But their guidance looks good. CEO said on the earnings call that this chip problem is not going to be as big of an issue as they thought it was going to be. That's great news. Chip problem has been the biggest problem with Ford. Biggest problem with any of these EV makers has been the chip problem. Now we got that under control. Now we got a reason for the stock to rally. Stock's still up pretty nicely this year. You look at the 1 year for Ford, it's about 100%. Because we're comparing it to 2020. That's the thing. We're comparing it to 2020. The pandemic, the COVID times. Okay? So it's a little misleading when you see that, but again, year to date, this stock's also up huge as well. It really just pulled one out of the hat, and now it's hitting basically all-time highs. 1670 was about the all-time high. We're at 1680 after hours, so we're at new all-time highs. Got to sell some puts on it today. Pretty happy about that. But General Motors is a different story. And one more thing before we go into General Motors, Ford is going to be one of my top picks for the next 5 years. The reason I say that is Ford trades pretty cheap. After this earnings quarter, that P is going to go down even more. Okay? They're trading cheap. They make a lot of profit. They make a lot of money. Their EVs are coming out. We got the Bronco. We got the Lightning. We got the Ford Maverick. They're stepping up big. They're stepping up really big in the EV sector. They're investing over $30 billion into a new EV plant. They're doing what they need to do to succeed in the long run, and I like that. All right? Let's talk about GM for a second. General Motors. Stock reported earnings. Stock dipped 5.4%. It's up a nice 1.2% after hours after Ford's talked about their chip problems and everything. And one of the things that General Motors CEO said that I really like, that GM can absolutely catch Tesla by 2025. That's huge. I mean, you look at GM. GM's extremely cheap stock. That's a 6.2 PE ratio stock. After today, it's going to be even lower. So it's a cheap stock. It's still trading high on the 52-week mark, down about 20% from highs, 25%. But they had a pretty decent earnings quarter. Again, they smashed earnings out of the park as well, coming in at $1.52 when they were expecting to only do 96 cents. That's a huge earnings beat. Revenue as well, little beat on the revenue as well, $26.78 billion. But the automaker lowered its annual automotive free cash flow and did not meet the expectations for the rest of the year. So, the reason I think it's a good time to get into GM, especially if GM, so right now it's up and after hours, if we see this thing go back down, I think it's going to be a great time to buy GM because the guidance is already bad for the next quarter. They're already not expecting to do well. So if they can even just match that or do even better than expected, the stock's going to fly because they have their results. It's trading extremely cheap. I like GM here. I think it'll do fine. It's also getting into the EV space a little bit more, like with the Mach 1. some of the other ones that they have as well. So these EV companies that are not traditional EV companies, these are auto companies. These are some of the biggest auto companies in the world. But it takes a hit because this chip problem and this shortage that happened. And they traded a multiple so small. They don't trade like the other EV companies. You have Tesla trading at like a 600, 500 PE ratio. Yeah, GM stock trading at a 6 PE ratio. So, while Tesla's more innovative than GM, obviously, GM's going to catch up. GM's going to take market share. I like Ford probably the best for that, but, I mean, both of these companies are solid. You have no... I don't see a big risk in investing in either one of these companies, to be honest with you. So... they performed really well. Both companies, you look at these earnings, they both performed well. They did what they had to do, and they did a lot more. And so one of the things investors are going to continue to look at is if this chip problem gets much better, then how do we go on from there? And I think the chip problem is going to get better as it goes on. While we have more time on our side, it's better for the chip shortage. It's going to become no longer a shortage, which is a bullish reason to invest in these companies. And again, if you believe in the EV race and you believe that they're going to continue to be innovative and pump out more EVs and get those tax credits from the government, then yeah, these are companies you want to own. So yeah, I'm going to continue to hold Ford. I bought some more today. Obviously, any sort of weakness, I'll buy in more, but General Motors is my next one that I'm going to be buying. I like General Motors, especially if it ends up down again tomorrow. I'm going to pick up at least 1 or 2 puts on it. I mean, I like it. I think it's a good stock. So that's what I'm going to do, pick up a little bit of that and, see what happens going forward. But yeah, it's a hard time to be invested in some of these companies. It's a great time to be in others. Ford is one of the ones that was great to be invested in. The stock absolutely popped in the after hours. Again, this thing gets $17 in after hours. Who knows it'll open up tomorrow? It might not open up above. Honestly, after like 5 minutes, you see those big green candles coming, big buying. I could see it near that. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I'll definitely keep on watch for all this. And as you guys know, come in the Discord and talk to me as well if you guys are interested. I'd love to chat with you guys. But great quarter from both these companies and great opportunity as well. You bought Ford on the dip today. It was super low. You buy General Motors on the dip after its earnings, super low as well. I mean, 54.21. That's really low. Hit 54.16 at one point. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. This thing looks really cool. Their new high-performance Corvette, all electric as well. So that'll be really cool. But, yeah, guys, big things on the horizon. I'm going to be taking advantage of this opportunity to pick up some GM tomorrow, hopefully, if it starts down. And if not, I'll just be patient and wait for a pullback. But yeah, guys, take it easy. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Let me know your thoughts on all of this. Bye, guys.